You know, there's a question so simple that most people hear it and say, well, that's obvious, there's nothing to explain. And those are actually my favorite kind of questions, because they almost always turn out to be the most interesting ones. Here it is. Why is the night sky dark? And you're probably thinking, Richard, come on. It's dark because the sun went down. That's what night is. But wait. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking something much stranger. Because here's the thing, and this is what gets me every time I think about it. The universe is absolutely ridiculously full of stars. There are more stars out there than grains of sand on every beach on this planet. Every single direction you point, somewhere out there there's a star. So why isn't the entire night sky as bright as the surface of the sun? That's the real question. Now, I want you to picture something. Imagine you're standing inside a forest. A really dense forest, trees everywhere, packed in tight. Now, if you look in any direction, left, right, forward, backward, your line of sight is eventually going to hit a tree. Every direction, a tree. So from where you're standing, you should be seeing nothing but tree trunk in every direction. The whole forest wall should be solid wood as far as you can tell. Now replace the trees with stars. That's the universe. And if the universe is infinite and the stars are scattered throughout it, then every line of sight you follow outward should eventually, sooner or later, land on the surface of a star. Which means the entire sky, every single point of it, should be glowing like the surface of a star. All of it. Blazing bright. Not dark. But it isn't. And that's curious. That's kind of wonderfully, deeply curious. This puzzle actually has a name. Some people call it Olbers paradox after a German astronomer in the 1800s who wrote about it. Though to be honest, people were puzzling over this long before him. Even Edgar Allan Poe, the writer, the spooky story guy, he actually proposed something close to the right answer. And I always get a kick out of that. A poet stumbling into cosmology. I mean, why not? So what are the possible explanations? Let's think through them together. Well, the first thought people have is, maybe the stars are just too far away. Maybe they're so spread out that the light gets too dim. And that sounds reasonable. I mean, a candle across the street is dimmer than one right in front of you. But here's the thing. It turns out mathematically that doesn't work. And I'll tell you why. Because it's actually a beautiful little argument. As you look further out, each star is dimmer, sure. But there are also more of them in a bigger shell of space. And those two effects, the dimming and the increasing number, they cancel each other out perfectly. So the brightness from distant stars actually adds up just the same as nearby ones. Go far enough in an infinite universe filled with stars and it all blows up. You get infinite brightness. So that's not the answer. Now wait, let me back up a second, because there's something I glossed over. I said infinite universe. And that's actually where things get interesting. Because it turns out the universe might not be infinite. Not in the way we casually assume it is. And it's not just that it has an edge somewhere like a wall you'd bump into. It's stranger than that. The universe has an edge, something like 13, 14 billion years. And light travels at a certain speed, a fast speed, but a definite finite speed. So the light from very distant stars, the stars that are incredibly far away, that light hasn't had enough time to reach us yet. It left those stars billions of years ago, but the universe hasn't been around long enough for it to get here. You see, the universe is too young, the light is still on its way, and that right there is part of the answer. Isn't that marvelous? But there's another part, and this one I find almost physically affecting when I think about it. The universe is expanding. Right now, as we sit here, the galaxies are flying apart from each other. And the light from those distant galaxies gets stretched as it travels toward us. It starts out as visible light, and by the time it arrives, it's been stretched so much it's become infrared or radio waves, things our eyes can't see at all. The light is still there, it's still arriving, but we can't perceive it. Our eyes are the wrong instrument. I always think about that. All that light, completely invisible to us, pouring down constantly from every direction, and we just don't see it, like being deaf, and someone is singing. Now, I remember one time I was sitting outside at night. This was somewhere in New Mexico, out in the desert where there's no city light to wash things out. And you could actually see the Milky Way. I mean, really see it. This smeared band of light across the whole sky. And I was lying on my back, just staring up at it, and I had this feeling, this sort of slight vertigo, where I suddenly understood in my body, not just in my head, that I wasn't looking up. There's no up. I was looking out into this enormous, enormous thing. And the ground at my back was the only thing keeping me from a kind of infinite depth on every side. It's a strange feeling. I recommend it. So here's what we've got, and I want to put it together because it's actually several ideas cooperating. The night sky is dark because the universe is not infinitely old, so light from the most distant stars hasn't reached us. And the universe is expanding, so the light that does reach us gets stretched into wavelengths our eyes can't pick up. Both things working together. Neither one alone is quite enough. Now here's my honest admission, and I always think honesty about these things is important. The full picture of why the sky is dark, really working it out with the proper cosmology, the expansion rates, the geometry of space-time, that's still something people are actively refining. There are details in there I couldn't explain to you completely, not because I'm hiding something, but because the physics gets genuinely hard, and in some places the answers are still, well, evolving, and I find that thrilling, not embarrassing, thrilling. Because this question, this ridiculous simple question, why is the sky dark? It turns out to be a window into the age of the universe, the expansion of the universe, the beginning of everything. You pull on that one little thread and the whole cosmic tapestry starts coming with it. A dark sky. That's the evidence, that's the clue sitting right above your head every single night, and most people never stop to find it strange. I'll leave that thought with you. Go outside tonight if it's clear, look up, look out, and think about what all that darkness is actually telling you.